So this is it. This is the Vera Incarceration Trends data tool. And here in front of you see a US map, and we use colors to represent the jail incarceration rates. Highest rate is red, middle rate is purple, and the lowest rate is blue. And you can see that the saturation of these colors fades out for counties that are more sparsely populated. When you get here, you land on a page that presents the total growth of jail incarceration for every US county since 1970. And here we get to show the headline finding, which is that while it's well known that there's been a fourfold increase in the number in jails since 1970, this data also uncovers a surprising finding, which is that it's not the largest jails in the largest cities in the US that have driven growth, but rather jails in small counties and mid-sized counties that have driven growth. For example, if you take a look at Los Angeles, California, that jail, the incarceration rate has increased by 16% since 1970. Moving over to New York has actually decreased by 24% since 1970, which is exceptionally rare, as just about every county has had their incarceration rate grow substantially over time. As you move across the map, you see these places that are shaded red and purple, which are places that have had triple-digit increases in their incarceration rate, and in some cases, four-digit increases. So the next slide shows the size of jails today. Through the time slider, you can see the richness of the data for every year between 1970 and 2014. So I'm now going to zoom into the Northeast, where we can use the time slider feature to illustrate how incarceration has become less of an urban phenomenon and more of a suburban and rural phenomenon. So we move back to 1970, and we see that the red shaded areas, Philadelphia, New York City, Albany, and Suffolk County, Massachusetts, which is Boston, are the areas where there's the highest rates of incarceration. You can see that the rest of the state is shaded in purple, which is the middle third of incarceration rates, and blue is the lowest third of incarceration rates. And use the time slider to move across, and you can see that slowly there's a shifting pattern. We see states become gradually more purple, particularly outside of the cities. And as we move into the more recent period, we see that the red is now shifted from the cities to places outside of the city. So you see that in New York City is now blue in the lower third. And in fact, there's no red in the rest of New York State. Incarceration rates in jail are very low in New York State generally, but the higher rates are in these upstate regions. Similarly, Philadelphia has a very high incarceration rate, and it still does today. But we also see very high rates of incarceration in jail in these exurbs outside of Philadelphia, as well as more rural regions in the central portion of the state. As we've been sharing this information, this new tool with people, we always land on the same question, which is why? Why do we see the trends we see? And the fact is we don't know. We don't know because we haven't looked at the information this way before, nor has anyone else. So we invite everyone to take a look at this tool, their home state, their home county, and let us know what they see.